A couple of people have asked me, as part of my series on place names in London, to explain the Isle of Dogs. Not a huge number of people, and they were very polite about it, thus depriving me of the opportunity to say that they were hounding me. But I have heard a few explanations for the Isle of Dogs, so it's getting a video. The Isle of Dogs is a peninsula in the Thames in East London. It was once a major part of the Docklands, now it houses Canary Wharf. So I guess it's also the Isle of Canaries now. But why is it called the Isle of Dogs? The truth is, no one really knows. The name is first recorded in the 16th century. Possibly the most on-the-nose explanation is that there were previously kennels here, where some monarch, often given as Henry VIII or Edward III, kept his hunting dogs. The argument for this is that the island is just over the river from Greenwich Palace. For me, though, the obvious question that arises here is, why keep your dogs on the other side of the river? Wouldn't you want to keep your dogs, at the palace? It's not like there was a shortage of land. There are other suggestions, and for that I think we need to talk a bit about the terrain. You see, the Isle of Dogs, like a lot of the land around the Thames, was originally very marshy. The area around the south and west of the island used to be called Marshwall, in fact. And the name Mudchute is derived from the slime that had to be dug out in order to build the docks around here. One theory is that the island was originally called Isle of Ducks. No doubt it would have been a fine habitat for water birds. Now here's a thought. What if the dogs were indeed hunting dogs, but just not royal? It strikes me that a place with lots of water birds would be a fine place for hunting. In order to make the land more usable, it was drained. One theory is that the derivation is from dikes used to run the water off. Remember how I said that part of the island was called Marshwall? Well, after windmills were used to pump water off the land, that area became known as Millwall. So there is kind of a precedent. Another possibility is that it's derived from dogger. Now these days, dogger has a definition that we won't be discussing on a family-friendly channel. But in centuries past, it had a number of meanings related to fish, specifically to fishing for cod and haddock. A dogger might be a fishing boat used for catching those fish. It might be a person who works on such a boat, or it might be a trap for those fish. Certainly there are cod in the Thames estuary. I don't know if they come or ever did come this far inland. But the fish trade was huge in London, with fish being a major part of Londoners' diets, so there certainly were fishing boats coming this way. Fish traps, too, were common on the Thames. In fact, they were the subject of frequent legal disputes when they interfered with shipping in the city. I'll leave it up to you to decide which of these you think is the most likely, whether it's dogs, ducks, dikes, or fish. I'm inclined towards the fish explanation myself, but that's nothing more than my opinion. I would be interested to hear yours. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, please do leave a like and consider subscribing for more. I would like, as ever, to thank my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon for your generous support. You are the dogger to my fish. And I'll see you all again very soon. Cheerio.